Let's make a door that can send you a text message when it opens and when it closes. This is a fairly simple project that even beginners can do. It doesn't require very many parts at all, and you can put it together fairly quickly. We will be using an Arduino Nano 33 IoT because it has Wi-Fi built in. We will also be using this magnetic door sensor and a breadboard. The first thing I always do before any project is upload the code to the Arduino if I have the code ready. That way I can make sure the Arduino is actually functioning. We'll be going over preparing the Arduino for the code later on in the video. The wires for the door sensor come pre-stripped and soldered on the tips, but it's kind of short. So we're gonna strip them a little bit, make them longer, and add a little bit more solder so we have a longer piece of wire that we can stick down in the breadboard. These are stranded wires, so we have to turn it all into one solid strand with the solder. That way it'll fit down in the breadboard. I know this isn't the best way to do it, but I just wanted to show an alternative way if you're in a pinch. So once we do that, we're gonna start plugging it in. Plug one side into ground. It doesn't matter which cable you plug in. And then plug the other into one of the analog inputs. We used 7, but it doesn't matter which one you use, just as long as it's an analog input. And that's it. That was easy, wasn't it? Now let's install it. So all of these things, the breadboard and the door sensor, they all have sticky pads on the back. So all you got to do is just remove the wax paper and stick them up where you want them. Once you have them placed, then hook up the power and you're ready to go. I've sped up for this video how fast the notifications come in. There's actually about a 10-second delay in person. Okay, let's move to the harder part of this project, which is preparing the Arduino and doing the coding. Now the Nano 33 IoT has Wi-Fi, but there's a little bit we have to do. So what you're going to do is follow this video from another channel called Evening STEM, and that'll get the Nano prepared how you need it for us to upload the code. Once you're ready to upload the code, come back here. If you have not installed the Nano 33 IoT onto your Arduino IDE yet, then now you need to do that. So go to the boards manager under tools, and once that loads up, you'll go to, should be the 4th one down to install what you need for the Nano 33 IoT. You'll just hit the install button on the right, and you'll be good to go after that. Alright, so we'll be using a modified version of the code from his video. Here's up at the top, you just fill in all your Wi-Fi stuff, your email stuff, and then who you want to send the messages to. You can either send it to an email or you can send it to a phone. Alright, so to send it to a phone number, you're going to have to format it like this, where with the number right here, and then whichever service they use, that's what you can use for AT&T, if that's what the recipient uses. Alright, so we're going to focus on the loop section, because that's really the only thing I changed from his code. So right here, we have the sensor reading. We're getting the reading from analog input 7, and we're putting it on the sensor level variable. After that, we're gonna turn that into an average of the last 20 readings, the last 20 readings. That way it smooths it out some, because the numbers can be a little bit hectic sometimes, so it needs a little bit of smoothing. So after that, we're gonna do a couple if statements. On this first one, if this average is greater than 20, what that means, the sensor works where once both of those sensor pieces are together, then it closes that circuit inside the sensor that has wires coming out of it. And since we have one side hooked to ground, then that means once that circuit is closed, that analog input is just reading the ground signal, which should be close to nothing. And so if that signal is at least 20 or greater, because it can be way more than 20, It most of the time will be in the hundreds. So if it's greater than 20 and the door is not already open, then now the door is open. So we need to send the text message saying that the door is open. And so we do that right there. So this next if statement is basically the opposite. If it's less than 20, less than or equal to 20, and the door is already open, that means the door has just been shut, because that means those magnets are touching each other. And so we change the door to closed, and we send the text message saying that it's closed. So that's pretty much all there is to that. Learning this stuff is most likely easier than you'd think. The possibilities are endless and the knowledge is readily available. So what are you gonna make?